Daniel and Lewis, they bring a much needed voice to the defense of the Second Amendment, and I'm honored to have them as one of our partner organizations. Our next speaker isn't a stranger to many of you. If you have a Minnesota permit to carry, I would wager you to find anybody who made that more possible than the man I'm about to introduce. Professor Joel Olson from Hamline University School of Law has been doing this down at the Capitol for 25, 30 years. Yeah. 30 years. Just about everything that I've learned from him. He's been a fantastic mentor. And again, if you got a firearm on you right now, legally, you can thank this man right here, Professor Joe Olson. There we go. My name is Joe Olson. I'm a professor of law at Mitchell-Hamline School of Law. I have been lobbying for Minnesota's responsible gun owners here at the Capitol for 30 years. Wow. Thank you! Rob is younger. Rob can stand up on these marble floors longer than I can, and Rob will be here, unfortunately, longer than I can. And so we are working very closely together. But things have changed. And this is the reason why you have to support the Gun Owners Civil Rights Alliance, Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, and the National Rifle Association. Because against us in the last 5 years is Michael Bloomberg, a billionaire, and his $50 million organization designed to take away your rights. Right. He doesn't just give them $50 million. Yeah. Even up until today, he matches every dollar they collect. So you wondered why, after the Parkland shooting, everything was organized.
Like magic.
It's because the Bloomberg organization, like the Pentagon, has war plans for every kind of disaster that might occur, and they're going to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. They already have the signs printed, they have them in warehouses, they have people, full-time paid employees in Minnesota. None of us who lobby for you at the Minnesota Capitol are getting rich off of it. I've never made a penny off of it. But there's a big threat out there, and it's getting more sophisticated because the puppet master is now in New York. He has a substantial legal staff, and they are sending orders to Minnesota about what happens. If you look at the bills that have been proposed by the Democrats this session, they're just like the bills that have been proposed by the Democrats in every other state.
Yes, they are.
Because they all come from the same place. Mm-hmm. Some billionaire wants to buy your rights. Now, we don't have billions, but we have the one thing he can't buy.
Integrity!
He can't buy votes.
Not ours!
They're just sign up dead
He can
people
buy
anyway.
TV time. He can buy attention from editorial boards. You know, I actually, once upon a time when Doug Tice worked for the enemy paper over here in St. Paul, for the St. Paul Pioneer Press, they actually had 28 years ago a meeting of the St. Paul Pioneer Press editorial board and 3 pro-gun activists. Doug has now moved to the Star Tribune. He still knows my name. He still has my phone number. He still knows how to get hold of me. We have never, ever been asked to sit down and talk with the Star Tribune editorial board.
Of course not.
There are at least 2 of them on the editorial board that I talked to when they worked for the Honest paper, the one in St. Paul. Now, so we've got billionaires against us, and we've got the media against us. But what do we have? We have our votes, We have your being here. We're having you contacting your legislators. You know, there's one easy, simple thing you can do to get into the heart of any state legislator who's running for office. Volunteer to be his sign chairman. You need a pickup truck. You need a big hammer. And you need a list of addresses. But somebody has to put those signs up. And if that somebody is you, you're going to be a very important person to that legislator. And it doesn't take $1 billion to do that.
Nope.
So let's talk a little bit more about one other thing, why it's important to have us here at the Capitol, why it's important to have us lobbying on your behalf. Things changed at the Capitol. Last year and this year, the lead on anti-gun bills in both houses are Harvard Law School graduates who think they know everything.
Of course they do.
Well, I happen to be a Duke Law School graduate, and they don't. But let me just give you one example. The background check bill, the amendment that
Jesus.
Senator Latz put
Whoa!
Talkie. We have to have a background check before we have a sale. We have to have a background check before we have a sale.
We do that.
Well, that's only like 5% of his bill. What he is doing is he is taking essentially the restrictions on firearms transfers from New Jersey law in 1974, which Warren Spanish tried to get into Minnesota law, and making them apply to everyone. Now, the genius by the Republicans and the rural Democrats in 1974 was to put in that one-line provision that says this doesn't apply to sales by private individuals. Transfers by private individuals. So the word that they're using, they're talking about sales, but the word in the amendment is transfers. Now, if I lend you my hat because you're also bald-headed and you're getting a little warm, have I made a transfer to you? You bet.
Yes, you have.
So he has to have a whole bunch of exceptions, and it turns out that the exceptions are actually restrictions. For example, if Senator Latz's amendment had passed, if you want to lend my FAL 308 caliber hunting rifle to a friend to go to Wyoming on the hunting trip of his life, that he's going to spend 10 days there out in the wilderness, and he's excited to do it.
Making me
If
jealous.
Latz's bill had passed, I would have to fill out a bill of sale transferring it to him.
Yep.
He would go out to Wyoming. He would have his hunting experience. He would come back from Wyoming,
The exact
and he would have to
goddamn
fill
same
out a
thing.
bill of sale transferring my gun back to me.
Ridiculous.
Well, unfortunately, there's no money. There's something worse.
Gotta go to an FFL.
How many of you have your backup records for your tax returns from 7 years ago? There's a few of you, but 99% of you don't.
Yeah.
Can you find them? Well, you have to keep those phony bills of sale when you lend your gun to another person forever. And if they ever ask you for it and you can't find it,
You're screwed.
it's a
You're a
gross
felon.
misdemeanor,
Oh.
which is a $3,000 fine and up to a year in jail.
Which makes it a felony.
That's what I thought. Because it's over a year.
Now, most of the offenses that actually hurt people that are committed with guns in, say, North Minneapolis are also gross misdemeanors. But those criminals don't go to jail. But I guarantee you will.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
This is the kind of thinking that we have to be aware of. They really do want to get you. They really do hate you. Because They can't hate those poor boys who shoot up schools. They're just misunderstood children.
Yeah, right.
Sure they
So
are.
instead of hating the person, let's hate the object.
Because it's easy.
Well, but guns don't feel pain.
No.
So how do we make the object feel pain? We go after the gun owners.
Yep.
Yes. And that's exactly what they're doing. I'll leave you with one other thought. We have all this stuff about, oh my God, we have to ban guns, we have to do this, we have to do that. You ask a security expert, how do you secure a target against a threat? And you say it? Yeah, we're going to get there. Well, the security expert would say, threats are everywhere. And every day, a different threat that we've never seen before pops up somewhere in the world. We cannot deal with the threats, but we can deal with the target. And so we harden the target.
Yep.
Now that's what Representative Lucero has a bill that would do that. He can't get it to move. All the Democrats are against it.
Of
Oh
course.
my God, we can't have security in schools.
Oh, no.
It would impair education.
How?
Million
How?
banks.
Being in fear all day long impairs education a whole lot more. So, I'm going to leave you with one thought. Those of us who are here at the Capitol have to have your support. We have to have those emails, we have to have those phone calls, and we have to have those votes. We have to have the votes not only of you, but we have to have your brother-in-law, your brother, your cousins, the other people you work with. We have to have all of those people show up and vote. Because no matter how many signs you wave, and no matter how loud you scream, no matter how much you get out of school and driven on a bus up here, if you don't vote in November, you don't make a difference.
Nope.
Thank you very much.